Bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Clash of Colleges for the final match between Scotty and Mr. Gopher. My name is Denzel Zaranelli, and joining me right over here is Creighton Olson. How you doing over there?
Denzel, I'm doing so well. I could not be more excited to be here with WSU covering this grand finals best of 5 match between two players who have put on an incredible show in the semis.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I am so glad that I was able to see a few of these awesome players showing off their stuff and their talents and skills throughout these awesome Rocket League matches. Tell me a little bit. What are some of the insights that you got to see when checking out these players?
Oh, man. Well, both of our finalists today, Mr. Gopher and Scotty, are phenomenal players. They've already played through, as we can see here, a pretty lengthy qualifier bracket. Looked like a best of 5s that we had, or best of 5, best of 3s that we had set up there in the qualifiers to go on to the bracket stages. Once they were in the brackets, there was a quarterfinals, the semifinals, which were broadcast on Friday, I believe. And now, of course, today we're here for the grand finals. There we can see the quarterfinal bracket there. Tobin Hushauer is Mr. Gopher, and he defeated a player who was named Qui-Gon Jim 3-1. And let me tell you, Denzel, that was an incredible series that I believe you had the privilege of covering, right?
I did, yeah. It was quite enjoyable to watch those two go head to head. And of course, Qui-Gon Jinn is just, I still laugh. That's such a great handle. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Seeing the talents between the two is one of the things that I really like about Rocket League. I mean, developing the skill set between playing against the ball or playing within the arena itself. And 1v1 situations, it's all about how you manage everything. So
yeah, and that 3-1 was really fantastic. Qui-Gon Jinn actually won game number 1 against that, and then game numbers 2 through 4 were the wins from Mr. Gopher, and he did such a good job figuring out Qui-Gon Jinn's style. But it sounds like, guys, we're ready to go with a little bit of a highlight reel. And let's take a look here at how these players did in the other matchup, which was Scotty versus Jacob. Denzel, you had the privilege of casting this one as well, I believe.
did, and I will tell you, it was a little bit one-sided. I mean, as you can already see just by the score itself, it's a 5-0 with a minute left in that particular game. And I got to tell you, Scotty was just kind of just super comfortable, just loving every minute of his time in the court. Unfortunately, the way that Jacob was answering some of those questions was kind of sort of figuring out his life, but I could still see that Jacob still had a little bit to offer. Unfortunately, Scotty was just a little bit more dominant in this particular games.
Some really nice demos from Jacob, particularly, and I believe a couple of these matches actually got some nice shots off. But unfortunately, I'm not sure if he even scored 1 goal in the entire series. A bit of a walkover, but this will be a real test for Scotty as he comes up against the winner of Mr. Gopher and Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, look at these guys play. As we said, game 1 going to Qui-Gon Jinn here, we can see he sort of stepped out in front. Now, Denzel, what did you see from Qui-Gon Jinn that made him so dominant here in game 1?
One of the things that I got to notice is actually the change up in style. So we saw them actually start off. Gopher was on the ground a lot and kind of played that ground game with some dribbles, as you can see here, and then just right into the goal. Qui-Gon Jinn, on the other hand, was playing a wall game at the beginning, changed up the style more towards the ground game, and in a 1v1 scenario, that's typically where you're going to find your players more on the ground. Now, one of the fun things that we saw was a lot more demos in this game.
It's always true, right? If you're behind and can't find a way forward, demos are the real answer. And there we can get some real good highlights from Qui-Gon Jinn.
Right, plow your way through and pray for the best, right? That's just kind of how it works out.
But Mr. Gopher's ground game, as you said, winning the day there, winning games 2 through 4, sort of figuring out Qui-Gon Jinn's style. And that's something he even said in his losers interview after the game. I remember he said he'd been practicing a lot of 3v3 for the upcoming season and hadn't quite perfected his methods here for the 1v1. So it looks like both of our players, Scotty and Mr. Gopher, have really been prepping for this 1v1 format, which is so different from the 3v3s. I think, though, are we ready for our game here, Denzel, already?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a look inside. We're going to start the matchup. We're going to see between Scotty and Mr. Gopher. So we should just be loading into the lobby. It looks like both of them have successfully gotten in, so it's time for us to begin spectating.
Beautiful. Now, guys, if you're just joining us here, the format is the same as it always has been. This is a best of 5, so first player to win 3 games will win. As always with Rocket League 1v1s, 5 minutes on the clock, most goals win.
All right, I'm just going to check to my left and right, because as always, technology is a factor when it comes to these lovely home time tournaments.
Looks like the folks back home are getting a nice view of the empty pitch as well. I can appreciate the ambiance, the atmosphere that we've got here in the stadium.
You know what? That's one of the great things about it. But we've got ourselves a countdown scenario, and let's see where they are at. Awesome.
Really nice touch there from both players. A little bit of an advantage though immediately for Mr. Gopher. For Scotty. Mr. Gopher is going to get the takeout there, but not the clear. Okay, he is going to be able to clear it there off. It looks like Gopher's really in a strong position here. Plenty of boost.
Yeah, it looks like it. We're going to switch over to this one. It'll be more aerial. Mr. Gopher catches it in the air, and it's back on the blue side.
Very nicely done here. Both players playing very defensively. This is something we saw in the semifinals rather. All four players in the semis played so dang aggressively. I think with the exception of the last two games with that Qui-Gon Jinn and Mr. Gopher semifinal. But it looks like we do finally have our first goal there as Gopher is able to finally put some aggression in the field. 1-0. For our orange player.
Yeah, that pop-up after the wall bounce really set up Mr. Gopher to go ahead and knock that right into the goal. Now, again, Mr. Gopher's going to be orange. This guy's going to be blue, so keep your eyes out if you've got a favorite.
God, that car just burns your retinas, doesn't it?
It's lovely.
I don't know how he can look at that the entire game.
You know what? It's easier when you just see the car from the back, right? They're just looking at boost coming out. Well, it depends on the camera settings, actually. That's one of the things that I did mention a little bit about in the last time. Your camera can actually be far forward or pulled a little bit further back, and that can help you whether you're trying to do dribbles or you're trying to do aerials or any other type of trick shots, anything like that.
Sure. Nice clear there from Mr. Gopher. Going to set himself up very well for another shot, though. Oh, man, Scotty trying to get himself out of the corner, but was unable to do so. Yeah, and again, off the wall, that touch from Gopher really giving him the edge.
Yeah, right there. You see that Gopher popped it off the top of the cabin right there, and that's kind of what set up for the goal. For Gopher, I'm sorry, Scotty to Gopher.
So what's the difference between what makes it such a strong play to play off the top of the cabin there when you're going from a side pump like that?
If you were in a slightly different position, it's possible that you can get it into it's a soft bounce off the top of your cabin. But Mr. Gopher was right there to answer in that last bout there. Ooh, I thought he might have popped it up and over, but it didn't happen. So really though, in that situation, I think he would have wanted more of a nose to launch it far forward like we just saw right there, especially with that trail behind the ball.
A lot of power when you get it off the nose like that, for sure. Scotty able to pick it up, though, able to clear. Let's see if he can get some action here. Comes off the wall, does have a nice bounce there, but oh, man, Mr. Gopher just defending so well. Not quite able to clear that. He's going to get tangled up in the corner, but that'll buy him just enough time. Scotty's going to pop back for a boost and go back on the defensive.
Whoa! And we got our first demo of the game. It looks like right there in the center between Mr. Gopher and Scotty blown up.
Yeah, Gopher not able to make the most of that. Really nice comeback from Scotty. Gopher gets the demo, but puts himself way out of position. Watch this. He's coming back from the side, but Scotty already with the second touch on the ball, and then Gopher from the side not able to bounce up and doesn't quite get it.
Gopher was just there a little bit too quickly. I think he was anticipating that ball to get there faster.
Always tough, man. Playing with these boosts, these players doing a really nice job. Good touch there from both players.
Both getting in the air. Good job.
Yeah, Gopher able to clear there. Out of the corner. And it looks like he's going to try and dribble a little bit here.
Yeah, right on the top. That's a good spot to be. Now, you probably wanted a little bit further on the front edge, like right where your windshield will be, instead of on the top of the cabin.
Windscreen? What is this, the UK? Get out of here.
You just got to do what you got to do. Oh, we got an open net situation. Scotty was not in a good spot right there because he was backing up. So that momentum that he would have had otherwise going forward was lost. But it's okay because Gopher didn't seal the deal.
Now, Denzel, this is something we saw Mr. Gopher practicing a whole lot in the lobby we set up for these players, is those corner air touches. He's really been trying to get the ball into the corner and score from the wall, something we don't see in 1v1s a whole lot. Now, do you think he has the athletic prowess to make that happen? I saw a lot of misses in the practice section.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was curious about as well. It looked like he had the solid mechanics down, but it wasn't look like he was making it look nice. Like it was a little bit of a floundering happening in the air. Now, whether or not it's because it's his actual skill set or if he was just messing around, just trying to see how he could monitor his boost, I'm not sure.
Drinking a Diet Coke with one hand, practicing the aerials with the other. He's going to be found out of position again, and Scotty's going to slip by to tie up the score 2-2, 2 minutes in.
Okay, that came off the side. I'm kind of curious. Oh, it was a side dribble. That's what got him. Yeah. That's a tough call to make. I've been in that position before where you're on the defensive, trying to do shadow defense, and the way that the ball just bounced off the physics, there's a little bit of stickiness. It's kind of like water molecules. They like to stick together. I don't know if you got that reference at all, but wow, that was just a wide net.
I was just biting my nails waiting because Mr. Gopher finds himself again aggressively out of position there. Scotty comes back in a lucky bounce, a fortuitous bounce on that touch. is going to go for a quick 3-2 lead just in 5 seconds there between
Yeah,
this
you're
score and the
right.
last.
That was such an interesting kickoff. I thought it was bouncing a different direction. Probably because I was talking about water molecules.
every caster's dream to get sidetracked by something and then have it be relevant later on. Don't worry.
We'll get there.
Oh,
I'll bring
nice
up
air
H2O
dribble here
again.
from
That was
Scotty.
pretty good. Oh, you know what's interesting? Actually, we're seeing a little bit more of an aerial game in this first one. And open right there. There's the response. Mr. Gopher was set up for. What was the boost situation?
Absolutely.
Oh, he did get the 100.
Yeah,
Okay.
got that corner boost and really pumped out.
Yep.
And that's one of the things we're going to talk about a lot, I'm sure, in these 1v1s, Denzel, is that if you go aggressive, the problem is it puts you so far out of position and you're just desperately hoping you've got enough boost to come back and defend. And that time, Scotty unfortunately did not. Score now even 3-3 with a minute and a half left.
Well,
hang on.
Oh,
off the top bar. Can Scotty get there?
Got crossfit back. Oh, what a nice flick on the behind. But Scotty was able to stop it. Now he's setting himself up for a answer. Not quite.
Into the corner, but yeah, Gopher's there to drive it away. Man, both these players now realizing a lot on the line. Scotty way out of position.
He can save it.
Got it.
Oh, wasn't quite there. I wonder why that is. Let's see. We're here. We got this. 92. He should have been able to. Okay.
Yeah, plenty of boost. Just let Gopher get in front of him there a little bit. You can't let your opponent jump on top of you.
Now it's a 3-4.
Fortuitous touch there for Mr. Gopher, but it looks like, or for Scotty rather, but Gopher's going to be able to get there and drive it back out off the sidebar, so that will bounce back, and Gopher going to have an empty net again.
Right there.
Yeah. It always sucks to watch the ball just roll straight on your goal when there's nothing else.
It's very, very true.
There's no aerial, there's no trickery. It just sort of sadly, slowly goes in, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, and especially when you're like, I know I can get there fast enough if it just floats for one more second, but that's not always the case.
Scotty off the wall there. Gopher a little bit out of position, but he should be able to. Oh, okay, nicely done. Boosted away from his goal there.
There's say Scotty right over there. Let's take a gander here to the right.
Good clear there by Scotty, but it's going to come off the wall at a weird angle here. And who's that going to favor? Gopher has a chance.
Go Gopher, but he's got an angle. I bet you. Oh, Scotty was right there.
He juked him. He kept his boost back a little bit, pretended like he didn't have any, and then I think Scotty got a little bit behind him, and Gopher was able to boost past there.
Yeah, that's he didn't get up into the air fast enough.
Juked him out of his Fruit of the Looms there. That poor guy left standing pantsless on the court, and now there's 30 seconds left. Gopher 6-3 right now. This is a deep hole that he's dug for Scotty.
That's very much true. Now, at this moment in time, I would say that Scotty just pulled back a little bit.
Oh, no.
Just take a few breathers. Where was he? Oh, he went for the side 100. That's why. I figured he was floating around 12 boost at the end of that, but he wasn't quite. So he was he needed that 100 to get him back.
Got a little greedy. Got too much boost. Didn't need it. Put him way out of position now. So at this point, Denzel, you played a lot of that. You're down 3-7. There's 20 seconds left in the game.
Right.
Obviously, Mr. Gopher's going to try and buy himself as much time as he can. He's going to play a little bit slow.
He's probably going to stunt, too.
And what's going through Scotty's head now?
Oh.
What's going through Scotty's head in these last 10 seconds as he's prepping himself mentally for game number 2? This is a tough loss.
I would say it's one of two things. One, he's either just kind of watching Mr. Gopher see his style, see his setup, prep himself up for better defense. Or number 2, he's just taking a breather, just going to kind of ride it out. I would I would write it out myself and just be like, whatever goes, goes. I've got 4 more games ahead of me. Each game is a new game. Look at that, Mr. Gopher with an own goal. So at least that'll show up in the stats. Right?
That's right. We've got our first winner of the day, guys. Mr. Gopher going to grab game number 1, 7-3, the final score. 13 shots on 7-4. Pardon me, with that own goal. Goodness gracious, what a play for Mr. Gopher there. That game, Denzel, started off so even between those two players, and Mr. Gopher able to pull out in the last 2 minutes. Did you see any major changes in his play, or did Scotty just get a little bit exhausted?
I wouldn't say a major change. I think Scotty was kind of playing consistently the whole time. Looks like Mr. Gopher, though, had a small switch to a little bit more of a ground game. You saw in the mid game, there was a lot more aerials happening there.
Right.
And I'm not sure if that's because of the pinches that were occurring. So when the two vehicles hit the ball at about the same time, the physics go crazy and the ball just boom goes flying off. So that could have been one of those things, but I think Mr. Gopher is going to set himself up for a really comfortable lead. I might actually put, based upon what I'm seeing, I might say he's going to take game number 2.
Wow, you're saying Gopher's taking game number 2.
I think so.
You think he's pulling out to a 2-0 lead?
I think he's going to pull.
All right. Well, I'll put money on my boy Scotty here. I got $10 in my pocket. No, I'm just kidding. Scotty, I think, has the chance, though. He's shown that he's got those really solid fundamentals. We saw some really nice dribbling. We saw some decent wall work. He seems to be really good with his angles there, knows where the ball's going to be. I'm just concerned about his ability to get in front of it rather than behind it. It seems like a lot of the advantages that Mr. Gopher found in game one was from Scotty just being a little bit behind the ball rather than being in front of it.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things that we do need to correct right now for Scotty. Scotty needs to get in the right position, play that position game just a little bit better. Just right there. That was a good one for him.
We're into game number 2 here. If we could swap to game cam, we can get in and show what these players are up to already. 10 seconds off the clock, and Gopher's going for a goal here. Looks like we missed it on the mainstream, but goodness gracious, you guys just missed Mr. Gopher with a really nice score there in game number 2. 1-0 already for our Orange Bandit.
Yeah, that was an interesting position. It looks like the ball bounced in a way that I don't think Scotty was predicting.
1-0, 10 seconds. We're never in a position here.
We have an advantage to Scotty. He just tops it off the right side of his guard. Oh, not quite. Gophers for the save.
Heartbreaking to watch that ball just not quite get the right angle.
It is.
Can't quite get on there for a tap. Nice boost or nice defense there by Scotty, though. He kind of tackles Mr. Gopher there a little bit, and he's going to futz it into the corner, and that means it's going to be very difficult to clear.
Oh, yeah, and with Gopher with the advantage on the boost, it looks like we're just going to get a pop up into the center, and unless he can save it from the crossbar,
Nicely done. Gopher still behind. Man,
I think Scotty's got it. He got it.
Nice.
Popped up the center.
Good clear from
Scotty should be in position, but he went for an aerial instead of the ground game, which is all right. Gopher showing off some dribbling skills. Is Scotty going to block? That was a tough one.
Let's check.
What an angle.
Let's check the angle on that block. That was fast.
I'm going to get to Scotty here. So there's the flick from the rear. Up.
Denzel, what did we say about 4 times after the previous game? Scotty has got to get in front of the ball and not even with it or behind it.
That's right.
Too many times to count.
It has been. So I think we have a little bit of boost management. You know what? I'm going to switch over to Scotty and see where we're using up our boost. Let's see here. That's about right. We're at 1. That was interesting. It looked like he went for a wave dash. I'm going to start looking for that and see if that's what he's pulling off.
Okay.
So there's a mechanic that allows you to do some funky, when you bounce with your car. I'm going to stick on him for just a moment.
Sure.
See if he does it. Almost right. Do you see that little skip hop?
Yes.
When one set of your tires hits the ground, you can actually jump and boost. And if you time your jump and boost right, it's almost like wave dashing in Melee.
I was about to say I'm getting some Super Smash Brothers PTSD now.
Exactly.
You got to be real careful with the word wave dashing.
I know, but that's very true. Well, you know what? There was that bit. What is that? Halo 2, Halo 3, where you could melee grenade real quick.
God, yes.
Remember those days?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Good times.
Well, some nice defense here by Scotty. Actually, Mr. Gopher had a bit of an advantage there, but Scotty did a really nice job banking it off his own crossbar and sending it back across. Gopher should be able to get the denial there, but really nice control from Scotty, at least here in the mid game. But Gopher again, nice shot just off the corner.
Wow, off the far side. That was interesting. I thought for sure that was going in.
Gopher a little bit behind it.
Hey,
he's gonna see one. Scotty grabs his first goal of the game. 2 minutes
Way
in.
to go, Scotty. Let's take a peer from that one. Oh, that's a good spot to get it from. Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
And you could see Mr. Gopher disengaging there. Knew he couldn't save it.
Get it. Yeah, that's one of those you just let it ride. I mean, you've got 2. You're up 2, so just give him 1.
So this is really fast in the game too. Here, Scotty again showing some good defense. That last point taking about a minute off the clock. Which actually, of course, is going to favor Mr. Gopher, but I think Scotty's probably a little happier to see that the goals aren't coming like Mike Tyson jabs just 3 seconds after one another like they were in game number 1. A little breathing room can't be bad.
It does.
Player in second place.
Right, you're saying that really well, because I was just going to say that Mr. Gopher looks like he's kind of slowing down just a bit, probably because he has the advantage. Maybe he's just positioning himself to take up where Scotty kind of messes up on his passes or his shots.
Nice defense there by Mr. Gopher. Good aerial block there. The ball, of course, uncontrolled right now. Gopher going for the goal. Scotty a little bit too far behind him. Scotty finds himself out of position yet again, Denzel.
Just like you were saying that before.
Is he going for a boost here? Is that where he was?
I'm going to check. He's got good boost. So what happened?
Where was he?
I don't know. A simple.
You got the demo kill.
Yeah, a simple forward jump would have gotten him in a better position, but maybe he was anticipating that the ball would go to the far side, the far post instead of the near post.
Initial kickoff there, taking a bit of a Scotty bounce, but Gopher finding it after it hits the ground. That means Gopher's going to be able to take control here. Scotty should be able to wheel around and defend here. Very nicely done by Scotty into the corner to buy himself a bit more time. Gopher trying to dribble with Scotty here defending. Ooh, bit of a standoff.
Yeah. It was perfect timing for that. Oh, he's playing an aerial game once more. He's going to try that. He's not at the right angle at all for that goal. However, I am proven incorrect. The aerial approach did not work. See that flail? It's not quite refined, but he's right there. He posted it right in that nook and cranny. And Scotty's like, I feel like for a second he's like, oh yeah, he missed. I'm free to do whatever I want.
That shot reminded me of every drunk guy I've ever played pool against, who can't actually make the shot that he wants to, but just hits the cue ball hard enough that something ricochets into a pocket. I feel like that's what Mr. Gopher went for.
Right.
A really ugly dribble there, but he is able to make it. Misses that side shot. It looks like he's going to go for it again here, just having a bit of fun. Scotty really struggling to clear out of the corners here. Mr. Gopher seems to be playing the game that he really wants to play.
Yeah, it looks like he's very comfortable right now. He's just kind of taking his time and actually stunting, just messing around. Look at that.
There it is. He's going to pay the iron price, and Scotty's going to grab his second goal of the game there. Yeah. Oh, man, let me tell you, man, 2 scores, a lot less embarrassing than 1, Denzel.
Oh, he was in the right spot for it, but I think just miscalculated how fast it was coming. Yeah.
All right, one more face-off here. 1:37 still left. Man, it seems like the last 2 minutes have taken about 6 minutes the way these guys have been playing. A lot of defense out of Scotty this game in the last half.
Right, comparatively speaking, for the first part of the first game was really action-packed and fast. But this one is a lot more paced and slower. It is still possible for Scotty to catch up, especially when you have an open net like that.
Boom!
There it is.
Very nicely done, Scott. Both players getting tied up in the corner there. Look at that. That's so ugly to get out of. Scotty with a beautiful break there, and Mr. Gopher just going a little too far downfield, and Scotty's going to grab him there. And now we got a 2-score game here, Denzel.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty close. Mr. Gopher probably should have just driven out straight instead of trying to pop it off the wall in that last play. But, you're there, you see the ball, you're like, I can get it, and you just kind of sometimes go for it. Here's a pop-up. It's not going to be quite in, but Scotty does defend it anyway.
Bit of a weird defense there. I think he wanted to clear a little bit further than that. Ended up in the half of the field that he didn't really want to be in. It is going to force Mr. Gopher into the air, though, and Scotty could set himself up for a good position here to defend. Oh, he misses, though, way over the top, and now the ball right over the crossbar. Mr. Gopher can tap it
right in there. Yeah, I was going to try to rotate the camera into time, but I would have missed him, so I left it right there. But I want to know where he was. Oh, he did cut in a little bit towards the middle section. Yeah, I would have totally missed him. So that was really, really good on his play. I'm rather interested in what's going to happen. So Mr. Gopher's kind of doing a little bit more aerial play. He's been a little bit more floaty. I wonder if Scotty, though, can take advantage of that. Maybe if there's a way for him to control the ball and purposely launch it into the air. And that would intentionally get Gopher out of position because he would be going for those balls in the air, just like we saw right there.
Yeah. Really good stop there from Gopher. And Gopher actually, I love that Gopher, when he does his defenses, he seems to be a lot less flashy than Scotty. Scotty seems desperate to clear a whole lot, whereas Gopher is happy to just grab the ball, knock it down, and try and take control and dribble across, and then get it up into the air when he's got some space to breathe.
Yes, yeah, there's a little bit more of it seems like a secondary thought happens. And right as you say that.
Another missed air from Gopher.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor kid just can't make this work. He's been trying so hard. Oh, nice tackle from Mr. Gopher. He's going to take control here. Only 10 seconds left. Things looking really dire here for Scotty. I think Gopher just needs to buy himself some time and let the clock run out.
Yeah, Scotty's going to probably try for a dribble. Yeah, he was setting himself up to get it right on the hood to see if he could probably flick it in, but unfortunately Gopher blocked it for him. And look at that. I had some suspicions. Oh, look at that. We got a goal explosion.
Ooh.
Yes. Perfect.
Congratulations to one of our producers, Levi, who now has free stuff in Rocket League that he'll never use, Denzel.
Oh, I know. It's a shame because he's got one of the coolest cars, too, which is, the DeLorean.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I like the sidebar. The DeLorean has 2 features that I like. When you jump and you're boosting in the air, the wheels actually rotate down underneath the chassis. They do. Yes.
Oh, Psionics.
So cool.
Psionics designers, mad claps to you. Excellent work.
And as I mentioned before in the last one, when you demo it, it does the fire streaks like it. Like
does it really?
It does.
Oh, that's so cool. I haven't seen the DeLorean in action in a long time. That's
really awesome
stuff, Denzel.
More pro players play the DeLorean.
You heard it here first, kids.
Great.
Obviously, if I'm like 30 years old now, Denzel. I don't know how old you are, but if the college kids are doing it here at WSU, you should be doing it too because it means it's cool, right?
Just saying, it is. It's totally cool.
Well, we're setting up for game 3 now. Mr. Gopher with a really solid 2-0 lead. Denzel, is there based on what we've seen from these two players in both the semis and the finals now, is there anything Scotty can do to bring this back, or does he just seem like he's straight up outmatched in the air and on the ground?
I would say that right now, Scotty's ground game is probably a little bit stronger than Mr. Gopher's, but that might be because Mr. Gopher's been setting himself up a lot more for these more aerial approaches. Even there. Oh, sorry, I had a brain fart. Because right here, he does a backflip, and I couldn't figure out why he did, but he did it to stall himself to set him up for the push into the goal.
He did.
So clever.
He did. Wow, Mr. Gopher really showing off. That's the second big time this series that he has just juked Scotty really, really bad.
Yeah, what I thought was a misplay was not a misplay at all. So way to go, Mr. Gopher. So as I was saying, I think Scotty can do a slightly better ground game on this one. But the advice that you've been saying this whole time, he just needs to work on that positioning. Just get right there in front of the ball to block it and set himself up. I think we should get Scotty to a clear, but I don't think it's an advantageous clear. So maybe that's the second thing we need to work on, a little bit of those mechanics right there.
Yeah, Gopher does manage to grab that 100 boost, so he is able to get max boost here. I think Scotty's got to play to the corner. He's got to try and steal that boost. No, another player getting the boost actually is huge for Scotty. There we go. He needs it really badly, and that's going to be really useful there as Gopher's down to only about 20 boost. Scotty should be able to clear this, and if he can clear it, he may have a chance. There we go. Gopher picks up the boost there, and now it's anybody's game. Really ugly game.
This is great. That's okay, but that's the right angle that you want. In fact, you can just ride it out. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the crossbar. I was like, Scotty, no.
Yeah.
Scotty, don't.
Let's take a look at this one here off the side wall. Very nicely done. The bounce and that gentle touch there at the end. Just almost not high.
Man, I was holding my breath, honestly, because I thought he kind of messed himself up, but he was able to get it.
Even on the replay, Denzel, I was like, oh, that ball's not going in.
Yeah. So it wasn't just me then. I was like, oh, I just literally watched it. Oh, my goodness. Open net. Scotty, I believe in you. You got this. You can clear it right there in that little pocket. But
nice reversal by Gopher.
Scotty's going to be a great team player. I can already tell. He's got some of those mechanics down for passing plays. That's what I'm working on.
We'll have to make some notes in our interviews after this series. Of course, we will interview both the loser and the winner after this grand finals is over. So we'll have to make some notes and see if Scotty's planning on playing any more Team Rocket League. But Mr. Gopher is going to be able to stop this one. Nice tackle by Mr. Gopher, and that's going to drive the ball back here. Scotty's got to race back, but the open net, Denzel. Oh, he misses it.
Interesting. I wish I could go back in time to see the angle off the car. Quite curious as to how we didn't get that one in, but that should be an answer. Yep.
My boy Scotty bringing it back.
So what happened here?
Done. Tell us.
Let's see here. He had the boost. It just didn't quite have the boost. That was going on. So there was a moment where he was in a Gopher was in an odd vehicular position.
Okay.
An odd vehicular position.
That's a good phrase.
Which didn't set him up to grab the boost he needed to start flipping back to the front. That's what happened.
That's my next rock band. Odd vehicular position. And Gopher's going to draw it even 2-2, Denzel. A good kickoff leading to a really nice follow-up. That's pretty clean right there.
It was pretty clean. And he actually went behind the ball instead of staying in center. Odd vehicular position. I like it.
That's
OVP.
So good.
That's
somebody
good.
Get the Etsy merch going for that.
Yeah, let's get some t-shirts out. RLOVP.
Pinch on the kickoff. And Scotty's going to grab it. Ooh, Mr. Gopher just a pitch behind yet again. This game really heating up fast. Yeah. Both players scoring some quick goals.
Just when I thought it was going to be a breather, he even did it with no boost. Look at that, Scotty. See, you can do it without having to grab 100.
Attaboy. Okay, well, maybe Scotty's going to get some confidence back here for the first time, I believe, ever.
I'm starting to feel some relief, so I hope he is too.
Scotty's ahead in this grand finals here, game number 3. All's on the line, remember. If he loses this game, it's a quick 3-0 for Mr. Gopher, and that's all she wrote here, Denzel. Scotty's got to win these next 3 games.
That's very, very true. Hold on a second. Let me rotate. There we go. We're up in the air again. And Scotty has an answer. Look at that. He's playing on the wall. I haven't seen much wall play defense, at least from Scotty.
Nicely done. Scotty a little bit too far to the left, though. Gopher going to be able to take the advantage and move back, pushing across on the wall here. He's got to be almost out of boost, though. Yeah, dropping back down to try and grab it there. Scotty will be able to clear, and Scotty pushing his back across. This is a really nice match point, or really nice point from both these players here. Gopher in the air, pushes it back, and Scotty defending.
This is pretty good. Scotty's going to clear it. He's going to set himself up, but I think Gopher's going to be right there for the response. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done. Gopher with a big touch. Is it too high or is it right on? Oh, it's off to the side. Again, a good defense here from Scotty. Going to get tangled up in the corner here. Gopher steals the boost, though. What's Scotty's boost at right now? Can you check real quick?
Let me see. We're good. We're still golden. Let's check. We just grabbed 100, so we're good there. We got a response. Oh, but he blocked it.
Another nice defense.
An open net with Scotty. not quite there. And we're tied up with 1:57 left.
That was a really nice corner there from Mr. Gopher.
See what
Look at that
happened.
Taps it so awkward up in the high ground, and Gopher able to rotate really quickly.
It looked like he was going to go up the wall for defense, but then realized that the ball was still in the air and not actually going to smash on the wall.
Oh,
So
smart.
he rotated the opposite direction. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Scotty's choice. That's probably why he wasn't there.
That's why he wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Ooh. So way to go, Scotty. I was like, open net, sir. Are you just baiting right now at this point?
I believe in every team game I've ever played. That is a what a save moment about 16 times in the chat.
Right. And not ironically.
No, which is really rare in Rocket League.
It's very rare. What's up, Unranked, with all of your what a saves?
Oh, jeez. Both players getting tangled up here. A couple of bumps, but it looks like they're both going to grab some boost here. Scotty has a chance to make a push on the goal, but Gopher there to defend. Clears it very hard.
Mr. Gopher should have upwards of close to his 100. Yep. And, oh, look at that. We must grab a bit more on the way back there from Scotty. Setting ourselves up. Where's that ball? Lobbed up in the middle. Mr. Gopher's there. He's got a chance.
Off the bar, just a couple pixels too high there, and Scotty's going to be able to clear it back with Mr. Gopher there. The defenders it too high again. It's in for Scotty.
Way to go, Scotty.
Atta boy, up 4-3.
Where is? Oh, I see. Okay. It looked like. Interesting. Wow, way to go, Scotty. It looked like Mr. Gopher was trying to set up for the ball to bounce down, but wasn't quite where that ball was actually going.
What a shot. Scotty with a one.
He's probably going to get it right here. I knew it. I knew it.
Denzel, I was just about to talk my boy Scotty.
I saw this and I was like, he's in the right spot. It's the right area. He's got the right amount of boost. He's just going to push it off the nose.
Wow. Well, hey, Mr. Gopher going to even things up here. 4-4, 53 seconds left to play. Scotty has a chance, though. He really does. He's been playing so well this game. Advantage on the kickoff going to Gopher, though.
I'm just going to pull back a little bit. If that angle is just off, it'll be for Gopher, but I think Scotty's going to get it. Yep.
Grabs the boost, too. That's really nice. Scotty's got full boost. But he's
no,
out of position.
There it is. 35, though. We still have some time. We still have time for at least some evensies here. I'd love an evensies into, you know what would be great? An OT.
An OT in Game 3 would certainly be incredible.
Maybe not for Scotty, but it would be great for us.
Don't get my hopes up too high, Denzel. Nice play there from Gopher. Let's see what happens on this next kickoff here. Kickoff's more important in 1v1 than any other game mode. And Gopher's going to find an advantage again. You hate to see it, Denzel. The kickoff seems so random. And Gopher able to get the stoppage of momentum there and come up right behind the ball.
And he was not in the position to grab that boost that was right near him. If he would have popped off just a bit further, he probably could have snagged the boost, rotated around, and knocked the ball out of position. At least cleared it from his game.
This game far from over there, still 30 seconds on the clock, and this is Rocket League, kids. Anything can happen.
That's right.
25 seconds now, the ball in the corner. Scotty's got to make some magic happen very quickly.
Yeah. I think Scotty's got it. His Gopher's out of, but snags the 100 on the way down. Way to go, Mr. Gopher. We're going to take an awkward camera angle here because this is an awkward corner.
Well, an awkward corner is going to pay off for Mr. Gopher here because we can see how much time he has burnt off the clock. And now Scotty down to just a few seconds left. The goal differential simply too much. Even going to see one more point for Mr. Gopher.
I don't know. What was he doing? He went for the dribble play. That's what he did in the last game. For those last few seconds, went for that dribble. But unfortunately, Mr. Gopher just kind of can read the card. He's got a good read.
Such an ugly such an ugly car. I almost said something bad there. Such an ugly car. Goodness gracious.
You know what? To each his own. That's what I say. To each his own. Maybe the flashing has been very distracting for him. And as a result, we have ourselves the Peppermint Powerhouse as the winner of Game 3.
There is Mr. Gopher with a clean 3-0 sweep in this best-of-5 grand finals here, the Clash of the Colleges esports Rocket League event. Now, guys, we are going to have these two players here for interviews very shortly. I can't wait to talk to both of them. I'm sure we're getting Scotty on the horn right now. Denzel, what can you tell us about Scotty's play? He had some fantastic moments there. What stood out to you as one of his strengths in this best-of-5?
Whoa, I get to go first. Scotty, I will tell you though, Scotty was really good at how do I say this? at setting himself up for a passing play. That's
Mhm.
what I will say. He was really good for locking in that pass. There were some times even when he was bouncing off to clear the net where I could tell he's getting it to a person that he can see, he knows is there, but unfortunately wasn't really there in real life.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you see anything off?
It sounds like a cop out, and I feel like players always feel like it's talking down when you compliment this. But Scotty's fundamentals really did look great there, man. His dribbling was solid. He did seem to have a good idea of where the ball was, even if he was just a couple seconds behind. But guys, I'm now being told Scotty is here with us. Scotty,
Hey, Scotty, how's it
Oh,
going?
going pretty good.
Are you awesome? Thanks. I got to watch you all over again, and I'm really excited that I got to see your skill set on display. It's something that I can achieve, hopefully, in the future.
well, now, Scotty, we saw you play the semifinals on Friday. You had an absolutely fantastic match against a player named Jacob. You went 3-0. It was so solid. Did you have any expectations coming into this grand finals about who you were going to face?
Not really, no. My mindset's usually just face a new opponent, they're a new player, so just play like you do.
Okay.
Every game's a new game.
That's
Yeah.
a very solid strategy.
That's a good that's a good way to do it. Now, one thing that we did mention before was your positioning. Unfortunately, it seemed like you were just behind the ball, especially when Gopher was, doing those passing plays and of course shots. So how was that? Going through your mind? Like, how were you like always seem to be just behind where the ball was at?
I would always be try to adjust it and everything, but then I would overcompensate, so it'd end up being another goal. So I'd keep going back and forth between.
Got
So
it.
it would
Okay.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I
Did you find
understand.
yourself chasing boosts a lot? We were trying to keep a track on your boosts to see if maybe you were just having trouble like catching the boosts, or if Gopher seemed to be stealing a lot of them. Did you feel like you were chasing boosts the whole game?
Looking back, I kind of feel like I was chasing more boosts than actually trying to challenge, so that kind of
Okay.
killed me there.
That makes a lot of sense. It was a bit of a suspicion of mine, but I didn't want to say it out loud and cross my fingers and hope that that wasn't the case.
well,
uh,
Denzel, one more thing you and I had both complimented Scotty on very heavily was that it seemed like he was setting himself up for like solid passing plays and
Yes.
stuff. And we wanted to ask you, Scotty, have you been practicing a lot of 3v3 Rocket League? Do you have plans to play on a team? Do you play with a team normally? Because it seemed like a lot of your play was really oriented around sort of a 3v3 style, which can be really hard to adapt to this 1v1 model here in the Clash of the Colleges.
Yeah, I play a lot of 3v3s, and so I'm so used to having a team and everything. So going to ones is a lot different mindset. So
Sure.
True. That's very true. I mean, I find it in myself, and I typically do twos and threes as well. So that is one of the things we mentioned was like, oh, he sees somebody, he knows his partner is there, but he goes to look over, and unfortunately, his partner's not there. Hey, tell me a little bit, just one thing about yourself. Like, what are you studying? Actually,
right now I'm studying computer science.
nice. That's pretty cool. Well,
And
thank you.
what year are you in school, Scotty?
Freshman right now, so
Freshman. Oh, dang. Freshman making it to the grand finals. There's some real talent here coming up, Denzel.
This looks really good. Well, thank you so very much for your time, and thank you once again for playing and showing off your skills. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Or night. I guess it's nighttime.
Oh my gosh, where has the day gone, Denzel? You start playing video games, and then it's like anytime I play Civilization 6, it's the same way where I start playing and then I just the whole day gone.
Well, if it takes an hour to get some wood, I understand.
I think that's a conversation for the health sciences department, Denzel.
That went somewhere. I didn't mean for it to go.
Well, Denzel, Scotty's showing off a lot of talent here, but we've got to give it up for our grand finalist champion here, of course, Mr. Gopher, who took out, and let's be honest now, Mr. Gopher's a great name, but his opponent in the semifinals was Qui-Gon Jim, beating him in the semifinals. But we've got him live now here. Mr. Gopher, congratulations on the championship. How are you feeling right now in your moment of triumph?
Feeling good. It was a fun tournament.
I'm really glad that you had fun with it. I mean, you were kind of showing off your car, though. The Peppermint Powerhouse. That is some next level aesthetic right there. The clashing green and red, so Christmassy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Christmassy. It's only September, Denzel.
And
Don't encourage that.
but it's a little late for July as well. So I guess there's something to be said there. Hey, so I saw you just kind of playing around in the air. How do you feel floating around?
I think in this game I was more willing to try the strategies against Scotty because I could see him kind of adjusting throughout the games. So I
Sure.
decided that I was going to go for some new strategies, and it ended up working.
I'm glad to hear, because you did kind of start a little bit on the ground, you moved a little bit towards the air, and then you're like, oh, let me change up my strats a little bit. Where are you more comfortable in? Are you more comfortable ground play, walls, aerials?
Oh, definitely more ground.
Okay, well, it kind of makes a little sense. It feels a little silly to say, but we spend most of our Rocket League career on the ground. But just out of curiosity.
Well, we saw you
Mhm.
practicing so many aerials in the little practice room we'd set up. We saw you practicing that corner aerial shot over and over again and sort of adjusting. And we weren't sure if it was because you were like really confident in the move or if you were planning to break it out or anything. I did want to compliment you though. In both your semifinal match against Qui-Gon Jinn and in this match, you've talked a lot about adjusting. Now, I don't think you're
Yeah.
familiar with either of these players. How do you go about getting a read on what your opponent is, and what specific adjustments did you have to make for Scotty in this match that you haven't had to make in your previous matches in this Clash of the Colleges?
I think that it was, as you said, quite difficult to adjust to both of them. I had played with Qui-Gon Jinn before,
Okay.
but I had never played with Scotty, and it was difficult because I think with Qui-Gon Jinn, he's an incredibly talented player,
Yeah.
and so is Scotty. But for Scotty in the finals, it was even more difficult because he seemed more comfortable on the ground as well.
Yeah, that was one of
Whereas,
the things that we made note of. Yeah.
you brought up the 3v3s, and I could definitely notice that as well. Qui-Gon Jinn plays mainly threes as well.
Do you play mainly threes, or are you a 1v1 kind of guy?
Well, I used to be twos, and then I
twos,
played
okay.
a bunch of ones to practice for this tournament.
That is
Nice.
interesting to say. I almost said it with you. He probably plays twos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I had this based up how the car was moving around. Those rotations. The rotations are different in ones,
Yeah.
twos, and threes.
Oh, yeah.
So like I was kind of wondering. You had some tighter rotations. It's usually a two thing. So that's pretty good. I'm like, hey, what are you studying actually in college right now?
Aerospace engineering.
Nice.
And your year in college?
Freshman.
Another freshman, Denzel.
Wow.
We had two freshmen in the grand
I know,
finals.
showing us both up actually.
This is terrifying.
Put us on a team against both of them. I think we'll win, right?
You don't want me anywhere near a Rocket League controller, that's for sure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gopher. It was great to see you once again. Stunting as always. Keep that peppermint powerhouse driving.
Thank you. Will do.
Have a good night, man. Oh goodness. This was a lot of fun. This was finals with Mr. Gopher taking it 3 straight games in a row.
Solid. Really solid. But you know what? It wasn't a blowout. I feel like our semifinal match with Scotty and Jacob, Scotty destroyed Jacob. And Jacob put up a good fight, but the score was, we got to admit, a little lopsided.
It was a
right?
little heavy in one direction.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I don't mind a 3-0 in a best of 5 as long as the games are really solid. And these games from both players were really solid. Strategy, tactics, mechanics, everything on point. I don't feel like one player lost the game. I feel like Mr. Gopher truly had to overcome his opponent and properly win.
Right, and we heard from both of them that they both kind of had to adjust to each other's play style. So that's a great thing. We know that they're both not a one-note player. We both know that they have the capability and the tactics to kind of understand and adapt to the field and how the ball is moving around. So it was great to watch. I was thoroughly excited.
It was such a good series, Denzel, and I couldn't have asked for a better co-caster to carry the action. It was fantastic stuff.
Appreciate it. And you have been amazing as well.
Well, my pleasure.
Alrighty, everybody, that is it for our Rocket League tournament here at WSU TV, and we are glad that you got to check it out with us. The finals going once again to Mr. Gopher. Catch us again in the future for more streaming content from WSU TV, and of course, thank you all so much for participating in the Clash of Colleges. I'm Denzel, and you are. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on.